You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This means that whether you like it or not, you take influence from other people that are around you. This is because we are social animals. From early childhood, we are influenced by our parents, then our peers, and then from our workplace, and so on. Now there are people who are like infections. They have a really bad effect wherever they go, and in one way or another, ruin whomever they encounter. This video is all about recognizing these people ahead of time before they can affect us in any way. Let's take a look at some of the infectious types. Some people infect not through malice but through chaos. They are not deliberately evil, nor are they always manipulative in a calculated way. Instead, they use their instability as both a weapon and a curse. Their emotions, impulses, and volatility radiate outward, disturbing everything and everyone they touch. At first, such people often appear fascinating. They seem lively, passionate, even intoxicating. But over time, their lack of balance begins to erode the stability of those closest to them, pulling entire circles, and sometimes entire institutions, into disarray. A vivid historical example is Lola Montez, a dancer-turned-courtesan who became infamous across Europe and beyond. Wherever she went, she seemed to leave wreckage in her wake. She had a gift for enchanting powerful men, drawing them in with a combination of wit, boldness, and sensuality. But once they were caught in her orbit, her chaos began to unravel them. Her lover Alexander Dugerier, a promising young French newspaperman, fell so deeply under her spell that he ignored the risks to his career and reputation. As intoxicating as her charm was, her chaos created trouble for the Frenchman in his inner circles. Within a few months of their relationship, a drunken quarrel emerged which was sparked by his obsession with defending Lola's honor and ended in a duel that cost him his life. Later, in Bavaria, Lola seduced King Ludwig II. His devotion to her was so blinding that he ignored the warnings of his advisors, dismissed critics, and even granted her political influence. The result was national outrage, riots, and ultimately his forced abdication. Other lovers fared no better. Ruined careers, failed marriages, poverty, depression, even early deaths seemed to follow wherever she passed. What Lola Montez embodied was not simple seduction, it was the destructive pull of instability. People felt alive in her presence, but that intensity came at the cost of peace, order, and sometimes their very survival. The lesson is stark: unstable people cannot be stabilized. They cannot be rescued by love, patience, or sacrifice. Their chaos is not circumstantial, it is woven into who they are. Get too close and their problems will become your problems. Their quarrels will entangle you. Their instability will infect your family, your work, and your reputation. The best strategy is not to debate, heal, or indulge them. It is to recognize the pattern early and distance yourself completely. Otherwise, what seems like a whirlwind romance, friendship, or collaboration may end as it so often did in Lola's story, with promising lives cut short, reputations destroyed, or legacies tarnished. There are people who do not attack you with force, charm, or chaos, but instead with weakness. They present themselves as fragile, helpless, or in need of protection. They appeal to your better nature, your kindness, pity, or compassion, and once you open your arms to them, they slowly entangle you. On the surface, they appear grateful and loyal. In reality, they are parasitic, draining your strength and undermining your foundation until you collapse under the weight of their dependence. Leonardo da Vinci illustrated this perfectly in his fable of the nut and the wall. A nut, carried by a crow, falls into a crevice of a tall bell tower. Pleading with the wall for shelter, it invokes beauty and gratitude, praising the wall for its strength and admiring its height. Moved by compassion, the wall allows it to stay. But soon the nut sprouts. Its roots split the stones apart, its shoots climb above the tower, and in time the once-proud wall crumbles into ruin. This is the essence of the dependent and destructive type. They arrive meek, voicing vows of loyalty, grateful for your support, but dependency grows. Their needs burrow into your time, energy, and resources. What began as compassion on your part becomes a creeping burden. Without noticing, you find yourself carrying their problems as if they were your own. In the end, their roots are in your foundation, and by the time you realize it, it is too late. They have already destabilized your life. The tragedy is that such people rarely see themselves as destructive. They believe they are merely surviving, but for those who shelter them, the cost is heavy. Just like the wall in Da Vinci's fable, you risk collapse. The lesson is clear. Kindness must be paired with a healthy sense of realistic overview. Compassion without limits makes you an easy target for those who weaponize it. Do not assume that every cry for help is innocent, nor that your sacrifice will always be honored. Some people are not seeking temporary shelter. They are seeking a permanent home in your foundation, and if you let them in, they may one day bring it down. Some people are not chaotic like the unstable, nor parasitic like the dependent, but instead corrosive in a quieter, more insidious way. Their infection spreads not through volatility or pleas for pity, but through a permanent state of dissatisfaction. Nothing pleases them, nothing is ever enough, and nothing anyone achieves can silence the bitterness gnawing at them from within. The Roman conspirator Cassius embodies this type. Overshadowed by Caesar, he could not bear living in the presence of someone greater. When Caesar denied him the position of first praetorship in favor of Brutus, Cassius's discontent hardened into envy. Day after day, he whispered poison into Brutus's ear, rehearsing Caesar's faults, magnifying his flaws, and feeding on Brutus's own doubts. Brutus, who could have risen to prominence with patience, was instead infected by Cassius's rancor. He joined the conspiracy, and together they struck Caesar down, unleashing chaos that neither foresaw. The Republic collapsed, civil war erupted, and Rome eventually fell into the grip of emperors more ruthless than Caesar himself. This is the danger of the chronically dissatisfied. Their discontent is contagious. Spend time with them, and you will find your own sense of stability slowly corroded. Their envy plants seeds of comparison in your mind. Their sourness makes you question your own victories, as if what you have is somehow not enough. Their brooding becomes the lens through which you start to see the world, and before you know it, you too are restless, resentful, and plotting against things that once gave you peace. Unlike the unstable or dependent types, the chronically dissatisfied do not destroy by storm or by weight, but by erosion. They wear down your confidence, your gratitude, your contentment, until you share in their disillusionment. The lesson is sharp. Beware of those who are never satisfied. Their discontent is not circumstantial. It is a way of being. You cannot appease it by offering more, nor cure it with encouragement. If you linger too long in their company, you will inherit their disease. The only cure is distance. Infection is subtle. By the time you realize you are entangled with an unstable person, a dependent destructive type, or someone chronically dissatisfied, the damage is often already underway. You may have been swept up in the unstable's fiery energy, moved by the dependent's pleas for pity, or persuaded by the dissatisfied one's grievances. The common thread is this: these people draw you into their world of imbalance, and once you are invested, their problems become your own. The only true defense is vigilance and distance. Do not judge people by their words, their excuses, or the feelings they stir in you. Judge them by their track record and effects, or in other words, the effect they have upon the world. Do they leave behind broken relationships, ruined careers, or constant turmoil? Do you feel drained, restless, or diminished after spending time with them? These are signs of infection. Do not fall into the trap of trying to fix, rescue, or argue with them. The unstable will not suddenly find balance. The dependent will not learn independence through your sacrifice. The chronically dissatisfied will not discover contentment at your urging. They will remain unchanged, but you will be unhinged.